Hello everybody, Yom Tov, and welcome to Monday in the Haven. Do you know what? You know when I said to you, when I'm asked what are you going to talk about on a Monday, and I say I haven't a bloody clue, and I think I know what I want to talk to you about today. The first thing I want to ask you is, what do you think of the intro? Eh? Isn't that something a little bit special? I have got to give all credit to my friend Elle. I had a basic idea of what it was I wanted to do, and I got myself a video editor. The other person who actually helped me with the sort of, how can I put it, the bits and pieces, like ring lights and tripods and, you know, camcorders and stuff like that. That was from my friend Angie of 4F Beauty. So it all started with me asking Angie about her intro and the sort of thing she did and what equipment she used. That's the word I was looking for, equipment. And she told me about the camera and that she used. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm using my phone today because I'm still getting used to, like, working with a camcorder. But, fingers crossed, I will be using the camcorder on Wednesday for your folk tales. So that's going to be all great. As I say, fingers crossed, wish me luck. So once Angie helped me with things like memory cards and the equipment and the cables, like I said, the tripod and the ring light, which that's the glow that you're getting now, is the ring light. I forget whether this, oh yes, I've got like a little, one of these little things here. And if you go through them, you can see the different kinds of, that's like a bluey one, a bluey white. Then there's that one which is a little bit brighter. And then we've got this like sort of golden sunshine tan type of thing. And, or is it that one? I don't know. I think I'm just going through them. I think it must be that one that I've got. But you can go up and down with the brightness and what have you. So if I do that, it makes it obviously a lot brighter and hurts my eyes. So I go down a bit and make it look a little bit more mellow. And I quite like that, actually. I quite like the sort of the mellow kind of tint that goes with it. So anyway, Angie helped me with all the equipment side of things. So I want to give a huge shout out to my friend Angie of 4F Beauty. And, you know, I keep saying it, not only is she a very talented makeup artist, she is one of the kindest, nicest, friendliest, one of the most loveliest people I have had the pleasure of getting to know and becoming friends with, and, you know, we're pretty close. She never lets me down, which is amazing considering that she lives with chronic pain and she has fibromyalgia, and, you know, there's times, I mean, she has bad days and she has good days too. But she is a very talented makeup artist. She's also, she can teach about makeup, and I've learned an awful lot from her. The look I'm wearing today is one that, it's not from, I don't think it's from a video that she's done. It may well be. But anyway, it's a technique that I learned from her. So I'm still trying to perfect it, but I think I'm a lot better than I used to be. And that's all down to Angie. So Angie, darling, if you're watching, thank you. Mwah! You are a mensch. You are a true mensch. And if anybody wants to know what a mensch is, in Jewish people will call someone a mensch if they do mitzvahs, lots of mitzvahs, which are good deeds. But they are the kind of people that will do things for you without any thought of any reward. They would never do anything thinking, well, what can I make out of this? And Angie's exactly like that. She's got a very warm, loving, giving heart. And she would never dream of even thinking, let alone asking, well, what's in it for me? She just does things out of the goodness of her heart and then just gets on with life. And that's one of the many reasons I think she's an amazing person. So thank you, Angie. You really are a mensch. And like I said, that's what we Jewish people call someone who does lots of mitzvahs, who is kind, loving, generous with her time, sensitive, a good listener, a really good friend, and good to other people as well, so that's Angie for you. The other mensch, of course, and I've got lots of menschers, people that I know, in the Haven, as well. But I wanted to tell you about the kind of technical side. I got a video editor which I downloaded for free, and I could a lot of it's basic common sense, but there were little bits ideas that I wanted to do that I wasn't quite sure how I would do it. I think the part that I contributed to was choosing the music, which is from Purple Planet, and you can use that music for free. So I chose the music, and obviously all the clips are obviously this face. But I wanted to do something that was cheerful and uplifting and made people feel good. That's the sort of thing. I wanted a real sort of feel good factor in it, something that sort of reflected me. So anyway, I threw some ideas around with Elle, and over the past couple of weeks, heavy duty emailing, but she was the one who said, right, done this for you, here's this list of instructions. So I've done all of that. I've been practicing, working with a video editor. But the one thing I will not do is I won't edit my content. If I misuse my words, if I forget something and I'm left sitting for about 15 seconds thinking what I'm going to talk about, I'm not going to cut that out. I've lived quite happily for over a year now. Occasionally missaying, there you go, there's an edit for you if you want one, missaying the words or jumbling things up or forgetting stuff. I'm not editing that out. The only technical bits that you're going to see from me are sort of set in stone, the intro and the outro, because they're sorted out now, and I love them, and I just want to thank Elle for all of her hard work, because she has worked incredibly hard to help me. And I love Elle to bits. And she knows it. I'm really grateful to her, because I wouldn't have the intro, you know, the way it is, that I hope everybody loves, if it wasn't for her. So thank you, Elle. Thank you so very, very much. Sorry, excuse me. She's incredibly talented. You know, and like I said, I wouldn't have the intro and I wouldn't have the outro without her help and her creativity. Like I said, I might have been able to muddle through things, but I wouldn't have had it looking the way it is. So that's all down to her. And like I said, for all the equipment help and advice, I just say thank you to Angie. So between Angie and Elle, they are the ones who were integral to me having an intro after a year, because I just wanted something to, you know, make it look a bit more polished, you know. You know, I mean, I know you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear, certainly not with this, but when it comes to, you know, the little bits online that you can fiddle with, yeah, why not? You know, why not have something a little bit jazzy and like I said, music that's uplifting. That's what I wanted, because I do want people to feel uplifted, and that's important to me. So I hope that comes across. And like I said, big round of applause for both these girls. They're amazing, amazing people. And I would love it if you would all go and see Angie, if nothing else, just to say thank you for giving this old bag, you know, help. And thank Elle too, please. That would be amazing. So, but I've got even more exciting news on top of that. And it's been crazy, because there are things that I've been dying to tell you that I haven't been able to say anything about. But you know how I want to, obviously, to upload 3 times a week. Well, not only have I got the intro and outro for today, but I've got one for Wednesday as well, and an outro, which is different again. And I've got another one for the spooky sessions on Fridays. So is that giving you something to look forward to, or what? Because I cannot wait to see in the comments what you think of these intros and the outros as well. I cannot wait. Because then you'll see, you know, the ideas that I've had been going around in my head, and Elle's made them come to life, you know. And, you know, I've worn her down, I think, because, you know, I'm going like this, you know. I always talk too much no matter what I do. So, oh goodness me, it's taken me 15 minutes to tell you all of that lot. There were a couple of things that I did want to talk to you about today. One of them quite seriously, excuse me, I must grab a drink. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know we're in the middle of March, but it's suddenly started to get warmer. And I don't know what it is today, it's been quite warm. I don't have any heating on in the house. And it's just incredibly warm. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I've been learning an awful lot about a condition called DID, Dissociative Identity Disorder. And I hadn't heard of that. I'd heard of multiple personality disorder, but I didn't realise it's quite an outdated name for a serious mental illness that's brought about by severe childhood trauma. And it happens when the child has been so horrifically traumatized that, now, I'm hoping I get this the right way around. When the child is learning how to form a personality, but is so badly traumatized, in order to be able to mentally process what has happened to the child. It's like having a glass bowl and then you drop it on the floor and it smashes into fragments. That's what happens to the person. Sorry, excuse me. That's what happens to the child's mental well-being. The personality sort of splits into fragments and forms new personalities, which are called alters. And, you know, some people have many, many alters. Some can have about 10, others will have about 25. They all have their own individual right to be. They all have their own distinct personality. They can be male or female, or sort of like, I don't know what it's called when you don't identify with any gender. They can be gay or straight. They can be bisexual. Like I said, they can be male or female, or not identify as one. It's a very, very complex disorder, and it's an extremely hard one to understand. And there is a lovely girl on YouTube called DissociaDID. I think that's her name. Please forgive me. She goes by the name of Nin. And she was called crazy by none other than the YouTube personality called Trisha Paytas, who, let's face it, does things for attention. Now, I'm trying to be kind and I'm trying to be respectful over something that made me very, very angry. But it's not long since Trisha claimed that she was transgender. And I don't really want to get into all that argument because I'll end up in trouble. Because an awful lot of it, you know, as far as I'm concerned, if a man wants to become a female and he goes through all the process, and what have you, if he identifies as a female, then he's a female. If a female feels that they would be happier as a male because they've felt that way since birth, or, you know, born in the wrong body, if they want to transition to being a male, then they are a male. And that's how I see it. And I hope that's the right way to see it. And if I've got that wrong, then I need to be educated so I can get it right, because I certainly don't want to offend anybody. But Trisha Paytas seems to go out of our way to say things that are so offensive that it's also divisive, the things that she comes out with. And I must admit, I got into an awful lot of hot water for voicing my own opinion about her last year, when I didn't really know that much about her. I was watching how she was behaving on our videos, and I'm going to admit to it, I said that I thought she was slutty in the way she was behaving. And I got into an awful lot of hot water over that. You know, at the time it was my opinion. I got blasted for my opinion. I apologise for it. I've never actually spoken to Trisha Paytas. She doesn't know who I am. I wouldn't think she would anyway. I mean, she's got thousands of subscribers. She may have 1 million, I'm not sure. But I know she has depression. And I do think that she needs therapy, or she needs someone to diagnose her properly. But according to her own self, she claimed that she self-diagnosed herself with multiple personality disorder, also known as Dissociative Identity Disorder. Now, I don't agree with self-diagnosis. I think the only time that you could possibly even come close to self-diagnosing any part of your health is if you have no access to medical treatment. I'm talking, I think, more along the physical lines, if you physically hurt yourself. I don't know anything about how it would be handled mentally. I would always say that if you feel you have a problem with your mental health, you must seek medical help. You must contact your doctor, who will find you a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and you need to be properly diagnosed. You can't just go around telling people that you've got a disorder when, you know, you haven't been formally told that you have it. Now, Trisha said herself that she watched Nin's videos and just thought, no, she's a crazy woman. She's crazy for having DID. And when I heard her say that, I mean, then she denied she'd said it, but it was there in our video. I heard her alongside thousands of other people who watched it. She's putting out an awful lot of misinformation out there, and she's doing so much harm to the DID community on YouTube. They are fighting every day to get rid of the stigma that surrounds DID. And then you've got someone like Trisha who comes along, calls one of the leading lights in the community a crazy woman, and then gets all defensive when she's challenged. I think that's incredibly wrong. What she called Nin was out of order. I mean, I suppose people could come and say to me, well, you called her slutty a year ago. Yes, that's true, I did. And I hadn't been on Twitter really that long then. So I was still learning about, you know, I've been fairly opinionated everywhere else where I've been online and voiced my opinions. But that's been from over the last 20 years. And it was very much different 20 years ago, where you could voice your opinion and people weren't so easily offended. But I suppose in a lot of ways, in some ways it's better that things have changed, because now we're becoming better educated and more sensitive and showing more sympathy to people. I mean, I've had a lot of hate online. I've had hate for being Jewish, and I've had an awful lot of hate for being a big girl, for being over fat, basically. I've had an awful lot of terrible hate for that. But the hatred for me as a Jewish person has been 100 times worse. And I still get it. You know, believe it or not, I still get messages telling me to end my life, and people are going to find me, and, you know, and Hitler was right, and all that sort of thing, you know. So I still have to deal with that. And I've learned to get my skin a bit thicker. I've also learned not to jump so fast and voice my opinion. I've tried to think about walking a mile in someone's shoes. Now, the few steps I'm prepared to walk in Trisha's shoes, I will say this, I do think she needs help. She definitely needs some kind, at least, of psychological help. I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to say that, you know, anything about her mental health, apart from the fact that I know she has depression, because she said so, that she has depression. Sorry, my mouth is so dry today. So yes, so Trisha has depression. But that's what she said herself. But I will just reiterate this, that she did not have any right to call Nin crazy. That was wrong. It was very hurtful. And I watched Nin's reaction. And she was only 9 minutes into Trisha's video. And she had to stop watching it because she was getting upset. And quite rightly so. Because an awful lot, well, the majority of what Trisha was saying about DID was wrong. And she owes Nin an apology. A really big apology for saying what she did. And I'm absolutely certain that Nin will forgive her. Nin seems to be that kind of person. My heart goes out to Nin. It really does. And I am going to learn, because I want to, not because I feel I have to, but I want to learn more about DID. I want to learn more about schizoaffective disorder. I want to learn more about bipolar disorder, so that when we have Haveners who have issues with their mental health, I want to be able to understand them when they talk to me. I don't just want to sit there going, I don't know what you mean. I want to be able to listen to them and then have a meaningful conversation with them so that they feel confident in talking to me, that I'm as well read as I can be about various mental illnesses. So I'm going to be doing an awful lot of research into various ones. I'm not going to be able to do all of them. The only condition that I'm fairly fluent in is depression. The other condition that I think I'm fairly fluent in is autism, especially Asperger's syndrome, because that's what my son has. And we've lived with that since he was 2, so it's been 25 years we've lived with that, and that comes with its own bag of problems. Plus he also has clinical depression, so, but depression runs in the family, and we all deal with it in our different ways. I do want to say this. How low can Trisha go? I mean, really, how can she go lower than this? Because, I'll be honest with you, I was absolutely disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. It was screaming at me that she was desperate for attention. And I know people have said that she's trolling, or trolling, whichever way around the word is. I don't know whether I see it that way. I just think that, in my personal opinion, and is my opinion, that she needs to have the spotlight on her just about at all times. I feel that she wants to stay relevant. I don't know what direction our YouTube channel is going in. I don't really watch her. The times that I do watch her, I'm not that impressed. She seems to talk a lot, but not know very much. I mean, I suppose we're all guilty of that. I'm a terrible one for talking, but I don't like to look like an idiot. At least, I would like to think that when I talk to people about life experiences, things I've been through myself, and things that have affected me, that they are relevant, and that I am relatable, and that people can relate to me. But I don't like to look like a fool, and I don't like to talk about subjects that I don't know anything about. So, but in my personal opinion, I think Trisha is an attention seeker. I think she has to be the centre of attention. I think she likes the spotlight on herself. And I think that for some reason she seems to be under the impression that, honestly, I can't get my tongue around my words today at all. Thank God for lemonade. I don't understand Trisha, and I certainly don't understand why she would call Nin crazy. That was the thing that upset me. It was bad enough that she didn't understand what this condition she was talking about. But you just go, she's crazy. No. That got me angry. And I think probably one of the reasons why I'm not jumping up and down and crying is because I really hurt my neck last night, and I've had to take an increasing amount of Oromorph, and that sort of slowed me down a huge amount. But it doesn't take away how I feel. I'll be honest with you, I wanted to reach through the screen and shake her and say, what the hell are you doing? You know, stop and take a look at yourself. It's like this, I don't know, I'm going to have to stop talking about it because I'm going to say something that's going to end up upsetting someone, or it's going to have me labelled as a bully or something like that, which I don't want. But I'm going to say this, that in conclusion, in my opinion, Nin deserves an apology. And it should come as soon as possible. So, that's what I've got to say about that. I'm not saying that Trisha is a disgusting person. What I am saying is that what she did was disgusting. What she said was disgusting. And if this is all an act based on a lie, then it's an extremely poor taste. And she should be ashamed of herself. There are ways and means of getting attention. It doesn't have to be at the cost of people's mental health. And as someone who suffers from depression herself, you'd think that she would know better. And if I was to say anything to Trisha now, it would be, get help. Come off YouTube and get help. Stop talking about things you know nothing about. Because after listening to Nin, and I've watched some of her videos since then, it becomes so clear to me that Trisha doesn't have DID. I don't know what she has. I'm not in a position to be able to say what I think she has, because it would be wrong. So those are my feelings on that. I just want to, I know this has gone over time, but you know what the heck. Little bit of royal news. So Harry and Meghan are, well, is Harry back in Canada? Here's the thing. I do know that Meghan went back to Canada more or less straight away after the Commonwealth service. But while she was here, she caused some havoc. Not only did she completely, and I'm going to say it, she completely pissed off Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, because Camilla was set up, it was all prepared that there wasn't going to be anyone, any member of the royal family that was going to take the shine away from a very important speech that she wanted to make about domestic violence. Now, I don't like the woman. You know, I've got a long memory, it goes all the way back, about her antics when she was Charles's mistress. But domestic violence is extremely serious, and as she said, it's hashtag everyone's problem. And it is, if we want to help and, you know, stop people from being violent towards each other, because it's not just men hitting women. Women do it back to men too. So there are battered wives, but there are also battered husbands. So there were memos sent out to all members of the royal family. It was promises nobody's going to do anything to take away from Camilla's moment. And it's at that moment that Meghan decides to release photographs of herself at the theatre. with a charity that she's working with. And of course, guess what happened? The newspapers were full of pictures of Meghan at the theatre, and there was very little coverage of Camilla's speech. So apparently, Camilla, according to the press, is outraged and, you know, not very happy. The other big issue was apparently, according to the gossip mongers, when Harry went with his military uniform on to this concert at the Albert Hall, there was a standing ovation. Now, people were saying the standing ovation was for him. Other people are saying, no, the standing ovation wasn't for him. It was for the musicians who've been supplying the music. But the gossip mongers are also saying that Meghan felt that the applause was for her, as well as Harry. And when it suddenly became clear to her that it wasn't for her, she was fiddling with her hair and didn't know where to stand and not really paying attention much because, you know, the spotlight wasn't on her for a moment. Then we've got the service on Commonwealth Day. And the Sussexes apparently were very unhappy that they had not been included in the Queen's party to go into the Abbey. They were shown to their seats by an usher 2 rows behind where the Queen will be sitting. Now, last year, it was sort of the Queen, Charles, Camilla, William and Kate, Harry and Meghan. This year, it was the Queen, Charles and Camilla, William and Kate, or Catherine, as she'd rather be known. And Harry and Meghan were behind the Queen, and William didn't look particularly happy to see him. William looked very tense. Catherine looked incredibly tense. And Harry, some of the time, just looked as if he wanted to be somewhere else. And Meghan is sitting there with this fake, painted-on smile. This megawatt smile. And according to people who lip read, Meghan was saying to Harry, as they were walking in and out the Abbey, keep smiling, happy faces. So make of that what you will. But apparently as soon as everything was over, oh yes, there's something else. Again, according to the gossip mongers, Meghan apparently was wearing a wire underneath her green dress. Now, whether or not that's true, I do not know. This is royal gossip. I'm gossiping with you. And you will gossip back to me, I am sure, in the comments. So please let me know what your thoughts are. But Meghan's now gone back to be with Archie. And she loves going on hikes with him. And apparently he's walking now. You know, and poor Queen didn't get to see him. But apparently Harry and Meghan have graciously accepted an invitation to spend some of the summer at Balmoral with the Queen. And no doubt Archie will be with them. So our poor Queen is going to get to see her great-grandson, no doubt when Harry and Meghan decide that she can see him. Do you know what, guys? It's all incredibly sad, isn't it? It didn't have to be like this. And I still haven't seen the documentary on Meghan Markle escaping the crown. It's on YouTube somewhere. I can't find it. If anybody knows where it is, please let me know. I don't think it would be good for my blood pressure if I did watch it, I really would be jumping up and down then. Or more than not, I think you'd see me bouncing, more or less. But those who have watched it inform me that it's basically, we're all racists here in Britain. All of us. Even the cats and dogs. We're all racist. Every single one of us. Okay then, whatever. I've said what I've got to say about that. I'm sure that you don't want to be bored to tears again. So, that's your Royal Gossip Roundup for today. And if anything else happens, I'll let you know on Wednesday. And we can have a chat about it then. Anyway, this has been a long one. Goodness me, for a Monday, quarter of an hour. I'm going to say bye-bye to you, because it's going to be dinner time soon. And one is going to have one's dinner, don't you know? One doesn't know what one is eating yet. But, you know, whatever it is, I'll eat it. I'll eat just about anything, really. Can't you tell? Right. I love you. And do you think I'm looking better? And I don't mean about the makeup. Do you think my eyes are looking better? Because I've been wearing these strips. It's this stuff here. And I wear these strips like this. And like down the face. Pull the face up. But it comes on a roll. So you've got to cut this roll into like 4 individual strips going across in a various length. So that's what I use it. I have my evening meal, my dinner, and then after that I cut the strips up, and hubby will help attach them. I have them up here and have them going down the sides. I have 3 going down each side to where the lymph nodes are here, and 2 going across here connecting to the lymph nodes up there. So all being well, if I can keep that up, with my little mask over my eyes at night time, hopefully I won't ever have to suffer like that again. Fingers crossed and all that stuff. You know? Okay then, I've bothered you enough for one day. I will see you all on Wednesday for those of you who enjoy your folk tales. If you've got any requests, don't forget to let me know in the comments, and I will fulfill your requests to the best of my ability. If I don't see you on Wednesday, for you there, if you prefer to come along on a Friday, then I'll see you there for episode 9 of I Made a Deal with an Angel, and another little ghost story, and more intros and outros to look forward to. I'm really excited, and I hope you are too. So, on that happy note, I'm going to say I love you. I will see you all again very soon. Please take care of yourselves, and I'm going to say bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, guys.